So yeah, this video it's obviously going to be focused around the brand new 3 releases from Amouage in their new line. And they're based around the past, present and future apparently. I'll go more into things at the end obviously, because that's a fair way of doing it. And I'll try to go nice and balanced through each of the fragrances and try and stay objective as much as I can, and then obviously talk about it at the end. All I will say is, to be honest, I didn't have high hopes with these ones, and I was really very irritated by the whole release of them, to be honest. Releasing 3 fragrances completely blind that cost 350 quid is odd. Watching a review with him and the whole kind of, we'll go into it. Is it a gimmick? Is it worth it in the end? We'll go into that at the end. Then still no samples after them been released, and then all the PR sets of a free bottle and the travel sizes going round all the influencers. And still no samples, and the samples came out, I don't know where we're at now, a week or 2 ago. When this comes out, you know, it'll be a while ago. But this really kind of, I don't know. I understand you promote things, you build up the hype and all of that. There's kind of disregard for the customers, really. I understand, obviously, with the new direction of Amouage, PR became, you know, a tool that they used, and they just send PR to people with lots of numbers, whether they're real or not. I don't know what freedom they have, to be honest, to really say how they feel about the fragrances and that, but that is what it is, isn't it? We know how it works, and people get PR, it helps push them, I suppose. So what I was expecting, I mean, this again before we go into it, as of making this introduction, I have sniffed one of them, and we'll go into that obviously. I think they'll be very safe. I think they'll be very middle of the road. I'm trying not to think about the one I have sniffed. They'll be nice. Will they be worth all that money? We'll wait and see, won't we, really? Will they be what made Amouage famous? Being creative. I mean, even going way back in time to the beginning, I mean, the fragrances were pure, insane luxury back then, weren't they? Obviously the gold, you know, put up the price of the original releases and such like. But they were beautiful, and I suppose you could call them kind of French style. The 2 golds being kind of around Chanel No. 5, but they were interesting, they were different, they had something about them, something in them. And then we come to the Chong period of just insane creativity, just some of the most creative, wonderful, genius fragrances that ever came out. You could call it a bit of a risk. We could call it Amouage's signature, bold, creative, insane, out there ones. Anyway, this introduction has been far too waffly, and then we moved into the Renaissance era. So far, yeah. Anyway, we'll get started. Okay, so we're going to start with Lustre. I'm not sure if this one's meant to be first. It was just first in the packet, so yeah. It's supposed to represent the past, the present and the future. I'm not going to lie, I haven't read the blurb. I've seen kind of our favourite Belgian friend talking a lot about stuff and all of this, and authenticity isn't really something that, that I'd associate with anything to do with all of that. So they're just three fragrances, aren't they? So yeah, what was Lustre like? This one opens with a lovely kind of cokey, clovey cardamom. You know, it sometimes has that kind of feeling about it, and a sandalwood under it. And there's something a little interesting actually, a little damp and dark and a bit naughty. Perhaps the cypriol, which is pleasant enough in it. As it settles into it, it becomes very smooth and woody, with some woody edges, like maybe from the cedar, with the cola feel and the cardamom and the sweet resins. To me at this stage it's a little bit like Opus 4, but with none of the fruitiness, none of that interestingness there. There's a pleasant sweetness which maybe is the cardamom and iris kind of mixing, with a kind of benzoin. It's nice, it's nice, and that grows more and more into a kind of creamy woodiness as it grows, possibly from the vanilla coming through more. The cola feel is really nice, and it smells ridiculously familiar to me, this fragrance, and I mean ridiculously familiar. And maybe now it's moved into something a bit more like Opus 6, that kind of woody, ambery kind of feel about it. About an hour in, there's kind of more of a nice licoricey feel in there. I'm not sure where that's coming from, maybe the cypriol or the myrrh or something like that. And it does darken up slightly, and then maybe a bit further on, after a couple of hours, it's still quite similar, but you get more of the patchouli coming through under it, with that tonkery nuttiness. And it's still quite similar to, you know, when it started really. And after a few hours there's something a little heavy and synthetic like. I don't know what that is, I'm not calling it synthetic, I'm just saying what it is like to me. It's a bit and it's a little headachy if you sniff it too close, and a bit dense. And this one does last a long time. Now this one, I'm not going to rate them till the end, obviously what's the point in that. This is very, very nice, and I mean it is really nice. If it wasn't £350 I'd probably buy it, but it is so familiar. And I was thinking, one I own, I think, and there's a few ambery fragrances that I own that it could be. I've not sniffed them yet because I don't want to compare them. It's obviously not copied, it's just, you know, a well-used DNA, and that's the problem with this one. It's lovely, but it's just not new. It's nothing new. It's very well done. It's, you know, it's smoothly done. It's a good quality fragrance, you can tell that, I'd say. It's nicely blended and all of that, but there's just nothing. Yeah, it's just meh. It's nothing new. I'll get more into this at the end rather than waffling now. Like I say, it's beautiful, it's nicely done. There's nothing exciting or unique about it. There's nothing interesting, but it is nice. So yeah, we'll leave Lustre there, and we'll talk more in depth at the end. So the next one I tried is Reasons, from the collection. Now to me, this one opens with a really lovely, nice, fresh, greeny, piney feel, with the sparkling pink pepper, and it's got like a gingery feeling as well in there. I think the sweetness is probably from the cardamom, and you get a little bit of that, more the greener side of the Divana, but I think it adds to that. It's the pleasant Palo Santo and sandalwood, are very smooth and cooling, and they come up from the base quite early on. And perhaps I do get a bit of the hazelnut, not massively, but there is a kind of nutty sort of thing there. And then it kind of sorts of merges into one. The creamy woodiness with a slight slopey feel and a little bit of the hints of green. After a few hours it's not really changed much. Perhaps there's kind of more of a kind of minty green feel. Something aromatic-y there, which is pleasant. With the woods, and there's a kind of soft cashmere base. It's not overly dense or in your face at this stage, with the kind of nutty feel, and the patchouli kind of lingers on a long time in that base there. The far dry down, now this is where it's odd. It's strangely similar to the dry down of the previous one. Maybe this is something to do with the bottles or the whatever was put in them to help it. I don't know, I'm not an expert. But it has that weird synthetic kind of thing again there. Maybe this is the smokiness of the barrel I'm smelling or something, I don't know. And like the last one, I don't think I said this, but it's like a woody tea bag. It's like a tea bag that's been left on a wooden bench. It's got that kind of smell about it. And there is a nice muskiness there though. Now this one, where do I start? It's nice. It's nicely made. I'm not one of these people who ever complains about this, ever. Not ever. Because I like a more subtle scent. I like it, it doesn't need to be in your face or out there or whatever. This is very much a skin scent. Which isn't, again, necessarily a bad thing. But it's a skin scent with not much to it. Nothing about it. I mean, if it had more muskiness there, you can forgive a skin scent, because that's kind of the point. Once the greenness kind of fades away, all that's interesting in it is gone. And again, it's not original. There are many fragrances that are kind of like this. The creamy woodiness is perhaps not for me. Again, it's not a bad fragrance, but where is the creativity, man? I mean, not every fragrance from... I'll save this till the end. We'll save this till the end. So yeah, this one... Meh. £350, yeah. A soft, kind of woody, greeny one. That's very pleasant, but meh. So, we're up to the final one now. And this is Outlands. And now this one will be, well, it already has been hyped. This is the one that sold out blind buy, apparently, on the website the quickest. And it's made by Cecile Zarokian. It's kind of like the name is probably what does this. Now Cecile is a very talented perfumer as far as I'm concerned. It's all subjective, isn't it? Very successful. She's released some of my favourite fragrances ever. I love Silver Oud, Opus 13. It's one of the best things I've ever smelled in my entire life. But it doesn't mean everything is going to be to my taste so wonderful. I mean, look at Mariah Carey. She's the best thing ever. I loved her. Loads and loads, countless great album after great album. And then she released the Rainbow album. Oh no. I mean, no. It's best we just erase that from our minds, isn't it? So, just because a perfumer is brilliantly talented, wonderful, has a great back catalogue, doesn't always mean everything's going to be great. Anyway, so what was this one like? So, to me, this one opens with like that caramelly brown sugar kind of feel, with the sparkle of cardamom again. There's a lot of cardamom in these. LME and a ginger-like feel comes through, lifting it. Has quite a rich, to be fair to me, sickly feel at this stage. It's that heavy, dense, that brown sugary sweetness. It isn't particularly easy to pick out much from it as it develops. It's mainly about the dense caramelly sugar with the brightness of the citrusy notes and that dense base. There is a pleasant kind of fruity boiled sweet feeling that comes in and out. The anise feel grows nicely, and it's quite thick, and the pepper is quite sharp. The anise feel kind of remains through it all. I wouldn't say you necessarily smell anise later on, but you get that kind of fresh menthol feel more than smell still in there. After maybe an hour or so, the LME pushes through more nicely, and it's dense, and the saffron starts to show its head even more, and that dense, sweet, sugary saffron is a struggle for me subjectively. And it dries down after a few hours, a little more woody, and I'd say there's kind of a tonkery, nutty denseness in the base, probably with the vanilla. Maybe some of the resins are giving that feel, I don't know. And the fruity thing is still kind of there, and a lot more of the saffron, and there's a little bit of a kind of musky feel about it. And yeah, again, it smells familiar. Sorry, just future John here editing. I didn't realise I hadn't really mentioned about the far dry down, where it has that kind of similar chocolatey, patchouli kind of vanilla-y feel that you get in maybe the Lustre a little bit, and also you get in I think King Blue goes this way towards the end. There's a little bit of it in Silver Oud. It's that kind of, that creamy, sandalwoody sort of, chocolatey patchouli thing that we're very used to. Just thought I'd mention it because, again, it's where I say that it has that familiar vibe. So this one. Now this is, like I said, this is the hyped one. This will be popular. I bet my jubblies on it. It will be popular. And it's probably, because it's so big, it is a big one. It projects quite massively on me. It's got that dense. It's everything that's popular now. This is very much of this era. That caramelly feel, that kind of brown sugary thing. This is not my taste. Let me just say that straight up. Doesn't make a fragrance bad, but it's something very familiar. It's something very mass appealing. Is this again one worth the price tag? That's up to you. You could find similar things of a similar price. It has a lot of Cecile's DNA in it. That's not a bad or good thing. Of course she has a DNA, she's a perfumer. And they're probably the better elements of it. It's loud, it's dense, it's got that nondescript sweetness, that caramel feel. If this was any other brand, I'd be raving about, oh, what are they doing? It's just I'm past that now. I am surprised by this one, actually. I thought it might be something a bit different. I thought they might have really let Cecile go, unleash her, create something incredible. For me, no. You're going to hear every influencer under the sun big this one up. This will probably be another Guidance, although at this price tag, will it? There'll certainly be a lot of PR out there. Sad is how I feel about this one, and I think we'll just leave it at that. I've no more to say about it. Like I say, it's not bad, it's not awful. Oh god, this is the second day I've had it on, and I've probably sprayed it about 7 hours ago or something, and it's still sickly, and it's of its time. So yeah, that's Outlands, the last one. So yeah, that was the 3 new ones from this new collection. We'll start with the kind of more objective positivity. They're all good quality, of course they are. Do they deserve the 350? Well, look, that can't be my only positivity. They're good fragrances, right? There we are. Now, do they justify that price point? The barrel thing, is it a gimmick? I'm not a scientist or a perfumer. I don't know. There's a fair old usage of synthetic molecular stuff in these. That's not a good or a bad thing, but the reason I mention that is you could have probably done that instead of the weird barrel thing. And the time, obviously that puts the price of them up. The new bottles, why? Why? I mean, again, our good Belgian friend was very proud that, you know, it's the new, they hadn't had a new bottle design in however many years. Great. Why does it need a new bottle design? Other than to, again, put the price up? Or are these bottles cheaper? Just why? Great perfumers doing them. Yeah, as you'd expect, they probably Amouage probably pay them quite well. None of my business. We don't know what the briefs were that they were given. We'll never know. Yeah, okay. I mean, okay. The way I'm not one of these bitter Chong lovers who's like never gonna get over it. I have got over it. It's like, I don't know. You know, you fall in love with your partner, you find out all these wonderful discoveries and facets about them. They're really clever. They have, you know, published material. They maybe achieved a gold medal at school. They helped save kids from cancer. There's just endless fascinating things. Not everything about them you know you're crazy about. Sometimes there's some things that make you go, but they're good, they're great, they're interesting. And then they're out one day and they fall off a horse and get kicked in the head, and then the person they wake up as, you know, they vote Trump or Farage. They've got loads of conspiracy theories. They're a bit of a racist, frankly. You know, they're a completely different person. I'm not calling the new Amouage racist or mental or anything, but I'm just saying they're a different person. All them things you fell in love with them for, all them aspects, are now gone. But they're not gone forever, they're memories. You know, you're never going to be able to undo all them great creations that went before, all them interesting things. And the thing is, they've moved on. You know, you've said, well, it's not working, let's leave this. So they've gone a different direction. And they found a whole new audience who love what they do now. And there's nothing wrong with that. You know, the things change and things move on. Maybe I'm not a big fan of the kind of middle of the road, going down the path of everything that's already out there being released. Yeah, they make them really well. They're always going to be Amouage. Maybe, you know, the budget to spend on ingredients and what have you has gone down a bit, maybe. You know, things have got very expensive in the world. But they still do a good job with them. I'm not going to slate them for that. But this was the final bow for me. Now, again, which was my favourite? My favourite was the first one. That was Reasons, was it? No, it most certainly was not Reasons. It was Lustre. Lustre, like I say, I've got something like it. I can't put my finger on it right now. It's not original, but it is really beautiful. It's really nice fragrance. It's really well done, obviously. It's good. It is a really good fragrance. But would I buy it? No. If it was £100, yeah, of course I would. 150, yeah. 350 for something that smells exactly like other things, with no Amouage about it. No, I wouldn't. what next? Outlands, because it's familiar, it's popular, and these things are popular for a reason, aren't they? It is, you know, it's going down that path of that kind of sweet caramelly. Doesn't smell anything like BR540, but you know, the same kind of thing, that denseness, the big huge sillage and stuff. That's what's popular. So I bow to that. Yeah, great perfumer. And then it's Reasons. Look, I don't have anything against Reasons. Again, it's a nice DNA. It smells very nice. You can barely smell it. I mean, but sometimes them sorts of fragrances are fine. And I've always said this. I'm not one to ever complain about skin scents or something. My skin hangs on to fragrances for dear life. I'm really lucky and, well, it depends how you look at it, blessed in that way. But this one, it was there a while, but I couldn't really smell it without a great deal of effort to smell it. That's fine, it's fine. But it was just so much of a nothing scent. I like the greenness. The creamy woods even was pleasant, but so in conclusion, I don't regret buying these, and I'm saying this, I'm over it now, I'll move on. You know, this is not the house for me anymore, which is fair enough. I'm still going to buy whatever comes out to at least sample, aren't I? Because I'm curious. I want to find that spark, that feeling the older ones gave me. It's a completely different house now. New direction. The new Renault Salmon, the new great Belgian guys was tasked with making them more mass appealing, I suppose, and I don't know. But the old Amouage is gone. I mean, not just like kind of symbolically, but he literally discontinued most of the Chong creations. Okay. Oh, sorry, none of them are ever discontinued. They're always there. And they may spark up a batch. It just happened to be a lot of them ones that went. So be it. Don't know what to say. This has gone on too long, but you knew it would. I'd say try them. You might love them. Like I say, subjective. I've got nothing to say about, you know, that they're high quality. They're recognisable. People love something that's a bit recognisable. There's no weirdness or excitement or ooh, this is interesting about them. They're all very safe. Outlands was probably the one that disappointed me maybe the most, because yeah, I suppose we all had expectations for it, didn't we? That's beautiful, isn't it? It is what it is. I'm not going to complain. Perfumers can only do what they're briefed to do. Direction is the direction this director has chosen. Like I say, some people will love the new Amouage style. Just got to get over it, haven't we? And move on and find a new perfume brand that excites me and that is different and wants to stand out of the market and not just make same as everybody else. I mean, the talks about L'Oreal, yeah. This ain't an experiment of trying a new thing, is it? This is the way it is. So what about you anyway? That's very waffly. Have you tried them? Have you loved any of them? I mean, genuinely, there's nothing wrong with that's what I mean. It's all subjective. They're not bad fragrances. What was the last Amouage fragrance you loved? Have you had any of these brands that, you know, you used to love? They used to be really interesting and exciting, and then modern times caught up, conglomerates bought them out, or they just wanted to be the same as all the rest. Alright folks, yeah, sorry it's been a very long one. Thanks for watching. Oh yeah, before I go, this will be my Amouage Beta Z-ish part 5. There will be a part 6. Might take a while. but I've just bought the first Discovery set I believe Amouage released. It's got the gold EDTs, it's got the Ciel, it's got Eau de Amouage in it, and other discontinued ones. So that will probably end the series. There are only probably less than 10 Amouages of the perfumes, not the oils obviously, that I haven't tried. So if anyone knows where I could get them, that's Opus 1, 2, 9 and 8, Bracken Man, the beach huts, they should be fairly easy for me to get hold of. And there's one long Eau de something, it was the female one, that one with Eau de Amouage, never get that. And Beloved Woman, and I think genuinely that might have been them, absolutely all of them, which will be exciting. The first brand that's been around for a while, I've done that. Well, anyway, this is me waffling for no reason. Thanks for watching, bye.